Hello, folks. I am the old sergeant. As feared, but expected, it has come to this: the desecration of a statue of the father of our country, General and President George Washington, the man who would not be king, the man who said, "I didn't overthrow George III to become George I." From Paul Johnson's book, George Washington, the Founding Father. The actual resignation of his command, having made peace between the civil and military powers of the new country, and in an emotional ceremony bid farewell to his officers on December 4th, 1783, took place in Annapolis, Maryland on December 23rd, when he formally handed back to Congress his commission as Commander-in-Chief, which they had given him in June 1775. He said he would never again hold public office. He had his horse waiting at the door, and he took the road to Mount Vernon the next day. No one knew Washington was surprised by this. Everyone else, in varying degrees, was astonished at the singular failure of the corruption of power to work. And indeed, it was a rare moment in history. In London, George III questioned the American-born painter Benjamin West what Washington would do now that he had won the war. "Oh," said West, "they say he will return to his farm." "If he does that," said the king, "he will be the greatest man in the world." The first thing the Marxist, Maoist insurrectionists did was to put the American flag on George Washington's face in the form of a COVID-19 mask. Then they set it on fire. On the base, they spray painted "genocidal colonists." Then they pulled the statue down. On the fallen statue of our founding father, they spray painted 1619. This is in reference to the New York Times 1619 Project. The 1619 Project is the New York Times attempt to rewrite history from their ideological viewpoint that slavery was a much bigger thing than it was. As Michelle Obama once said, "We must change our history." The New York Times view is that slavery is the central story of America, because establishing that is the entire point of the 1619 Project. Top historians have said it is a very unbalanced, one-sided account. It is wrong in so many ways. It is not only ahistorical, but actually anti-historical. It is a tendentious and partial reading of American history. The New York Times viewpoint on slavery in the U.S. is designed to fundamentally reorient our understanding of American history and change what students are taught in the schools. More indoctrination by the Marxist, Maoist leftists in our schools and colleges, by university professors with connections to the Chinese Communist Party. One example is the claim of the 1619 Project that a primary reason that the colonists launched the American Revolution was to protect slavery. Those who stand up against the 1619 Project falsehoods, lies, and distortions are called white historians, with the racist claim that being white invalidates any learned and scholarly viewpoint different from their own. You know what they call non-white historians with the same viewpoint as the white historians. As you can see here on the base, the useful idiot writer spray painted "F cops." The top has been cut off for obvious reasons. This is not about racial discrimination. Something that, until Obama, was almost completely dead in this country, as the old people died off and the young people could care less about, or could not care less about, the race of an individual. This is about the destruction of the American culture, the removal of America from history, the removal of the shining city on a hill that is a beacon of hope for those really oppressed and enslaved in the world. The country that lost hundreds of thousands of lives to end slavery in this country. Even now, slavery is worse than it has ever been in history. The American government and non-state organizations like Operation Underground Railroad is working hard to end slavery around the world and rescue individual slaves. But these insurrectionists don't care. As one leftist commented on one of my videos, burn it all down. They want to remove America from existence. The mostly rich kids, young rich kids, cannot be talked to and educated in the truth. They don't care about the truth. That is why anything counter to what they believe must be removed by the big tech companies. Famous individuals and companies bend the knee to these riders out of ideological compatibility or fear. Now, middle America, the normal, sane, average Americans are standing up to these insurrectionists and are starting to guard our sacred monuments. Mass arrests need to be made and our schools and colleges cleared of communists, especially Chinese communist influence. We must all stand up now to preserve, protect, and defend our Constitution and our homeland, the United States of America, formed and created by our God. We are facing evil in both the spiritual and temporal realms. Lord and Master, King Jesus of Nazareth, please save our nation. I am the old sergeant. Stay informed, prepared, active, prayerful, and as always, stay vigilant.